Alright, so today's video is probably going to be a little shorter than usual because I think they're actually finally going to fix my car today, so I need to film this real quick. First off, thanks for all the subs, thanks for the likes, thanks for the comments. I appreciate every single one of you. Thanks for the tips, Venmo, Cashapp, PayPal, appreciate you. And thanks for the Patreon support. I appreciate every single one of you. So, yeah, so today will be a quick video about one of the interesting people that I knew on the street. He's still up there in Manhattan living on the street. So, I met this one person named Ethan. If you're looking for him on social media, it'd be Ethan Freckles. So, I consider him to be my evil twin. Some people say we look alike, some people say we don't. Me personally, I don't think we look that much alike, but I've heard people are like, you guys look a lot alike, and I don't know. I mean, we both have long hair. His is red, mine is blondish. But we have more similarities in personality, you know, like we're both kind of dominant dudes. You could say alpha, whatever, sigma, I don't know, whatever. But we're the type of dudes who, you know, we have strong personalities, and we, you know, we're just dominant type people, you know. So, when I first met Ethan, he actually I was hearing about him from other people. There was a lot of people having some issues with him, and so I don't let people influence my opinions too much. But I was thinking, I was thinking this dude's gonna be an issue, you know. But when I ended up meeting him, strangely enough, I kind of liked him, and even though I was hearing mostly bad things about him, you know, judging from my interactions with him, I kind of liked him. So, although when all is said and done, me and Ethan, you know, half the time we get along, the other half we don't. If me and him are around each other every day for long enough, sooner or later, we have to stop being around each other because we're gonna want to kill each other. He can't stand that I smoke cigarettes. I can't stand when he starts blasting his music in his stupid little speaker, like. Just that, you know, we get on each other's nerves, and we're both also the type where we don't like being told what to do. So me and him, we get into it quite a bit. Eventually, if we're around each other enough, we're gonna get into it. But he's one of the people that I find interesting. I like him. I respect him. He comes from like a rich family, and his father wasn't just, you know, it's not like generational wealth. His father built his fortune up from nothing. His dad, I guess they're initially from upstate New York, but then his dad moved to South Carolina when he was younger, and he started working for some company where they were cutting down trees, I guess. And then eventually his dad started his own tree business, and now he's, you know, very successful. He's got a bunch of companies, makes a lot of money. And so when Ethan was younger, he was working for his dad. But from what I heard, Ethan was like trying to take over the whole company as like a kid. And, you know, he's the type that would do that. Like, so, you know, it's, you know, you'd be like, why would someone live on the street when they could be living in this beautiful house on a huge piece of property, making all this money in South Carolina? And that's a good question. Me personally, I've met Ethan's parents. I think they're great. I like them a lot. I've met his brother. I think his brother's great. They're all like these really nice, normal people. And then you got Ethan, who's like the most defiant, you know, like he's so hard to get along with, but I can't help but respect him because he lives in a very rough way out on the street, and he ain't even got no money because he refuses to work. He's against the dollar, and so he, you know, the only resources he has is what people volunteer to give to him. He doesn't panhandle, he doesn't do anything. He just sits there and like basically tries to tell everyone what to do and how to live. But I've known Ethan for, I don't know, almost 10 years at this point. I still couldn't tell you exactly what he's doing, but it's hard for me to explain what I was doing out on the street. Mostly for me, it was just, I just wanted a challenge. I didn't want to be bored with life. I wanted to experience some new things, and I can't explain it really. I just felt deep in my heart that I needed to do something more challenging and more interesting than what I was doing. I mean, I'm gonna make another video explaining it. It has a lot to do with the fact that I'd be sitting there at work just wishing the day would go by, wishing the week would go by. I was sitting there wishing my whole life away. You know what I mean? And I was like, I'm not gonna spend the rest of my life like this. But Ethan refuses to deal with money. It's like, it's all he makes everything so much harder on himself than it needs to be. But I can't talk no sense into him. Maybe one of y'all can. I'll add his Instagram in the description, and yeah, if you want to argue with him, he'll argue with you. And he's just he's a hard one to figure out, but I do get a kick out of him. And so here's just one of the funny examples of how Ethan is. So at one point he was camped out in Central Park by the coffee shop in Central Park. There's just this coffee shop down on the south, towards the middle south part of Central Park, and Ethan was camped out there trying to take that place over for a while. And anyways, I think that's where this happened. I don't really remember, but anyways, Ethan's the type where he tries to keep his environment clean. He'll sweep the sidewalk. If there's any graffiti around, he'll clean it up. Like, he's like a crusader type person. But so there was this phone booth that didn't work. Probably hasn't worked in 30 years. But Ethan had cleaned it up and made it look nice, So he's sitting in his spot one day, he looks over, and there's some kid over there doing graffiti on the phone booth. Like 18, 19, not like a kid, but dude's doing graffiti on the phone booth. Ethan walks up, he's like, "What are you doing?" And the guy's like, "Writing." And Ethan's like, "No, you're not, you're making a mess." And the guy's like, "What?" Ethan's like, "I cleaned that." The guy's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "I cleaned that phone booth." And this kid's like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "What is this?" And Ethan's like, "Clean it up." And the dude's like, "Huh?" Ethan's like, "Clean the phone booth." And the guy's like, "I ain't got time for that shit." And Ethan goes, "Oh, you got time to make a mess, but you don't got time to clean it up?" And this dude's like, the guy's like completely dumbfounded. And then I guess he kind of got his wits about him. He's like, "Yo, you trying to get knocked the fuck out?" And Ethan's like, no fear, no nothing. He's just like, "No, I'm not." Like, very matter-of-factly, like, "No, that's not why I'm here. I'm here to make you clean the phone booth." This kid's like, he ain't never seen nothing like it, And so they're bickering back and forth or whatever. Ethan's trying to force this kid to clean the phone booth. And this kid's like, "Fuck this shit." And he goes to leave, and he's like, "Well, whatever, man." He's like, "You got anything else you want to say?" And apparently, I heard the kid was a little overweight or whatever. Ethan goes, "Yeah, eat fewer calories and burn more." and apparently the dude that was with him started like cracking up at that, and that was the end of it. And Ethan just cleaned up his phone booth after they left. But it's just, New York draws just some really interesting people. Could you imagine? I mean, he cleans the phone booth. Like, only in New York are you gonna run into someone who cleans the phone booth and is gonna be demanding that you clean up whatever you wrote on it. Like, And just the fact that he's got the friggin' audacity, you know, he ain't from New York, and he don't even understand the New York mentality, you know what I mean? But he's up there, you know, just trying to take over, and it cracks me up personally. I get a kick out of him. I just can't believe, I don't know, I can't believe the nerve of the kid. But really, what I really don't understand is why he doesn't just go back to South Carolina, work for his dad, or work for anyone. And you know, his dad's got this huge, nice piece of property, a bunch of dogs, like dirt bikes, like, you know, I don't get it. I really don't get it. You know, it doesn't make, like, bro, you proved your point, bro. You lived on the street for 10 years and with no help. There was freezing winters, and me, I can afford to buy hand warmers and shit. Ethan ain't got money for all that. He's just surviving off what he can find and what he can salvage. And I'm like, he refuses to make money. I don't get it. It just doesn't, it don't make no sense to me at all. But I can't help but respect the tenaciousness and tenacity and toughness, because, you know, I've been through it. I know how hard it is. And to the fact that he can just end it whenever he wants and chooses not to, it boggles my mind. You know, I don't know, because it's rough out there. It really is. So I don't know, but that phone booth story had me cracking up, man. I'm trying to think if there's any other funny stories about Ethan, but I mean, for the most part, you'd have to know the other people around there, because Ethan just tries to tell everyone what to do. He tries to tell everyone how to live. A lot of people don't like him. I like him, even though, you know, he's just as annoying and frustrating to me as he is to everyone else. But the thing is, I just respect the fact that, you know, he's out there on his own and doing things in a very hard way. And it takes a certain type of person to handle that kind of hardship 100% voluntarily. Like, it don't make no sense. Other people on the street are like, oh, he's some rich kid from a rich family. And I'm like, yeah, but he's out here too. What do you mean? It's not like he's got his dad sending him air mattresses and sleeping bags and shit. He ain't, you know, he don't get nothing from his dad, you know what I mean? Like, what do you mean he's some rich kid? Yeah, but he's out here and he's living it all the way, dude. He's roughing it just like we are, you know? So I can't help but respect it. But I guess that's about it for this video. So yeah, this is a real quick one. It is what it is. I mean, I don't know. So my truck should be getting fixed over the next couple of days, so I'll be back when that's over. It should be like day after tomorrow or not long after that, and we'll see. I got a list of videos. A lot of people want me to make videos about certain things, and I'll go through the list and see what I want to make, and I'll see y'all, I guess, in a couple of days, and hopefully I will be somewhere else besides this parking lot. Anyways, I'll watch this video back, see if it makes sense. So thanks for everything, y'all. I appreciate you. I'll see y'all later in the week.